Welcome everyone. I'm Miles McCrimmon. I'll be your professor for English 241 this spring semester 2013. Happy New Year. And I'm looking forward to working with you. I wanted to just say hi and let you know that I am trying something a little different this semester. I tried it first last summer and then again in the fall. And it's working very well. It does require a little bit of patience and persistence on your part. It's called Classroom Salon. And I talk a great deal about it in the opening announcement that you've probably already looked at as a result of looking at this video. You will also learn more about Salon on Salon itself once you register for it. And what it is essentially a platform that we're going to use in lieu of having you actually work with a print textbook. You're welcome to buy a print textbook if you want. Any edition of the Heath Anthology of American Literature, any of the first 6 editions of it would probably work for this course if you just feel like you have to have something in your hands as you're reading. I think the most current edition is the 6th, but you really could probably find a cheaper edition anywhere back to maybe the 3rd or 4th edition from a decade ago. The stuff hasn't really changed because what we're reading in here is all at least 150 years old. So as you can imagine, the editions of these anthologies really don't change that much. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to slap everything onto Classroom Salon last summer. I spent a great deal of time just getting the material out there. It's all in the public domain, so I wasn't violating any copyright by doing that. And with my summer class and then again with my fall class, I experimented with this idea of having my students actually read all of the materials electronically, digitally, through this platform called Classroom Salon. And then I was able to embed reading questions, and you'll see how it works. It takes a little while. The most powerful aspect of it is the fact that you will be asked to do annotations, essentially what you would normally write in the margin of a book, marginalia, now becomes something that you highlight in the text, and then a little box pops up and you write down some comments about what you've highlighted. Even better, you see what everybody else in the class is highlighting. So that by the time we're finished with a collection of readings for a given unit of readings, we'll be able to look, I'll be able to look, and you'll be able to look at the other annotations of as many as 24 classmates on the same text. So it's going to be very much for a distance learning class. It's going to be very much like being in a classroom together when we sort of reconvene to look at what everybody had to say about the text. Although the difference is, of course, you really don't have that effect in a live classroom unless everybody's willing to just trade their books with each other simultaneously. So there's practically no way to accomplish this without the use of Salon. So I ask for your patience and your persistence on this. There is a bit of a learning curve, but I know you'll do just fine with it. So please keep in mind as well that even though this is a distance class, I am in town. I'm in my office, and I've got some office hours typically on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. So there's certainly no reason for you not to come by, visit. If you have questions, my phone, contact information is all there. My office phone, my cell phone, and of course my email is probably still the best way to get with me, and I'll certainly be monitoring all of those frequently during this first week as you're getting to know the class. So I hope to talk to you soon, and do check into the only thing that we're using the discussion board, the main kind of Blackboard discussion board for is this sort of icebreaker, introduce yourself, maybe respond to a couple of other classmates, just a kind of a social first week of activity there. Otherwise, what we'll be using Blackboard for primarily are group discussion boards, and I explained that as well in the opening announcements. What I've done is I've split each of you into 3 groups. You're actually members of all 3 groups, but you're responsible for monitoring and reading the reading responses of your group mates first and foremost, but you'll have access to all 3 groups. So your group assignment is there in that opening announcement, and you can take a look at that as well. And what we'll do is typically alternate back and forth. We'll start with some Classroom Salon annotations, which you'll get the hang of, I promise you. Then we'll have you do a little something on Blackboard that responds to that unit of readings. Then we'll have you go back to Salon and respond to some of your classmates' annotations. And then we'll have you go back to Blackboard and respond to your classmates' and group mates' initial reading responses that were posted on Blackboard. Sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. It's a lot of little visits back into the course, but what I found is that in distance learning classes especially, the more deadlines students have, the more likely they're going to stick with the class. So you have to have a lot of things that remind you to check in. So that's why most of the time you'll have something due on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of a given week. We have a little pause typically of more like 4 or 5 days when there's a new set of readings that comes along. But one of the first things you'll want to do is take a look at that syllabus and just transfer it into whatever calendar works for you, whether it's on your phone or old school in a book or whatever, a refrigerator, just to remind yourself of when all these little assignments are due. And there are a couple of exams that we'll have plenty of time to talk about. And then there is one major paper that comes in draft form. And in fact, will be posted to Salon. So you'll learn by the middle of this course how to actually post things yourself to Classroom Salon. And we'll have a little peer evaluation process that goes on where you'll look at 5 other classmates' essays and in fact have yours looked at by 5 classmates. So by that time, we'll know each other pretty well, even though we'll be working with each other from a distance. My students in the fall and summer who tried this Classroom Salon reported higher feelings of connectedness with each other than what I was accustomed to hearing from my distance students. And I've been teaching in this modality for 5 or 6 years now, and had my concerns like everybody else does about moving from classroom into a distance format. I still do a lot of classroom teaching, but I got to say some of the things that we're able to do with some of the tools that I've developed are actually feel a little bit more connected sometimes than a classroom where you're not quite sure who's read what and much less how closely or anything like that. But things will be pretty transparent in this class. So I encourage you to be self-motivated, but also to be motivated by each other and to keep in touch with me, because I will certainly do my part to motivate you. I'll talk to you soon.